So we're going to have conversations this morning on GMT. We're going to be talking about topics that are relevant in the local spaces. And in fact, on a global scale, our first conversation this morning is something you want to be a part of. You want to get an understanding of it, and you want to know how can this benefit you. What am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? I'm talking about AI. I'm sure you've heard AI this, AI that. What does it mean? Where did it stem from? How do we benefit? And how do we use it in our daily lives to improve our standard of living and the way we do business, commerce, and interact with each other? And in studio this morning with me, we have Mrs. Shelly-Ann Baptiste. She's the manager of BDU, and Mr. Jason Arthur, who is also a representative of the business chamber of the Tobago chapter of the Business Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having us.
Of course, a pleasure having you here this morning. And we're talking AI.
Yes.
You know, things are rapidly evolving and things are changing by the second, and information is at your fingertips. But how do we use what is available to us to ensure that we can maximize and reap the benefits that are there? So we want to talk about AI. We know AI means artificial intelligence, but we want to get into the actual meaning. What does this mean? What does artificial intelligence mean? And I know sometimes people think the fear of humans are going to be extinct and AI is going to take over the world and there's going to be no need for me and you and everybody else. But is that really true? And how do we use AI to our benefits?
Thank you very much. So the theme of our symposium is AI, the end of work as you know it. From the business development unit, our perspective is that of ensuring efficiency. How does AI fit into what I do as a business? If we're talking business development, then we're talking improvement of services, of systems. How do I apply artificial intelligence to what I do to ensure that I get maximum benefit, maximum output, everything? How do I use artificial intelligence, for example, to automate what I already do? And Mr. Arthur will expand on that in a little bit, because people often confuse automation, digitization, and artificial intelligence. So that is one of the topics that we will cover to dispel the phobia of artificial intelligence.
And I like how you kind of differentiated the three different categories. And Jason, I want to come to you where that is concerned. That we could get a little breakdown in terms of the confusion where people think that all three are the same, and to kind of define what is artificial intelligence, what is digitization, what is all the terms that are involved in artificial intelligence, and how we can benefit from each of the applications.
All right. Good morning again. All right. So, you all called a number of terms there. So let's see if we can take them piece by piece. We'll leave artificial intelligence for last. So we have digitization and we have digitalization. Okay. So let's say you have an organization and everything you have is in hard copy, paper. If you take the paper and you scan it, you have just digitized the paper, right? So now you have that digitally. If you previously had people coming in to get that document from you, and you move from that to now allowing people to go online and get that document, you have now digitalized. So digitization is simply the document. Digitalize is referring to processes. So typically what would have to happen in any organization is you would first have to digitize so that you could facilitate the digitalization, right? So one is stuff and one is process.
Right.
Right. So let's put that aside. Artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Fundamentally, it is a computer that can do things that we previously didn't think computers could do, like think and reason and work stuff out like human beings, right? That's all artificial intelligence is really. Now, some machines specialize in different versions of that kind of stuff, but ultimately it's that It's that almost sort of a cognitive thing that a machine is doing that a human would do. All right. Now, with respect to artificial intelligence, you have the confusion is automation and AI automation, which is actually something we're going to sit and break down for people with examples on the day. So I kind of don't want to steal a thunder from it, but there is a little bit of a confusion there, and we're going to make sure that when you leave, you understand the fundamental difference between the two.
And it's very important to understand the differences, especially also to dispel the fact that humans will be replaced by machines. I mean, I don't think humans will be replaced. I think basically the tasks might be substituted. Am I correct by saying that the tasks will be substituted and made easier and more worker friendly? Is it a situation where humans will form a different relationship with a machine based on the AI applications?
Right. So I will go out and say this, and I think a lot of people are trying to sugarcoat it. Humans will be replaced by artificial intelligence in certain areas. It is not no if or no ands or no buts. It absolutely is the case. But that's not the issue. The question is, if that is to happen, how are you going to position yourself as somebody who is doing the type of task that artificial intelligence can do? How are you going to position yourself for when that time comes? And that's part of what we're going to cover on the day.
Because it's very important. I don't want to be obsolete. You don't want to be, as a human, you don't want to be obsolete. You don't want to be left out in the cold and thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do? So at this symposium, tell me some of the things that people will come to understand. I know you gave us a little overview as to what they will kind of understand, but I want to talk a little bit more in terms of why should I really come? Yes, I will know what AI is and I will know what I could do, but why should I really come? What are some of the benefits that I will derive from coming to this event?
Okay, so let me jump in from a business perspective. For our clients, for persons in business to understand and appreciate artificial intelligence. So let's take, for example, you're doing Beneball, how do I introduce automation, artificial intelligence into my systems, into my processes to, one, increase production, secondly, to minimize in terms of faults, because we know human error, like put the wrong set of ingredients. How do I integrate IT on a whole, artificial intelligence, digital, how do I integrate that into my system to ensure efficiency of operation, consistency? That's one of the challenges that we have. You go to a restaurant, today the food, and then next day kind of. How do I integrate that? Do not be intimidated by it. Jason said humans will be replaced. Yes. But we also need to understand and appreciate we will all, and that's probably where we differ. We will always have the need for humans. Let me give you a prime example. So we have the banks and the telephone operators that you go online and you are trying to interact. But there are people who want the human touch. You want to hear the human voice. So yes, there might be some processes in the back end that can be automated and operated, but there are persons who still need the experience. So it is not for people to be afraid and completely sold out about. No. How do I embrace it into what I do to, as I said, improve my efficiency in operations?
So just to sort of piggyback what Shelly-Ann is saying, Shelly-Ann and I are not at odds. But I want people to understand and not sugarcoat it. When I say human beings will be replaced, it's not that you won't have anything else to do, but there are absolutely processes that we simply will not need a human being to do anymore. In the industrial age, there are things that human beings don't do anymore, right? You have machines doing those things. So it's the same kind of thing. So I think people don't like to hear it, right? But I'm not one to say stuff just because people want to hear it. It is an absolute fact that that is what's going to happen. But that is not what needs to be our concern. Our concern needs to be, prepare
How do we?
yourself.
That's right.
That's what we need to be doing. We don't need to be just afraid. Prepare yourself.
And in this experience, this symposium, is it a one-day symposium, and is there going to be any type of follow-up? Because I know a topic like this, in my mind, there are questions that I want to ask. I want to unload all my probably insecurities, your uncertainties. How do I fit into the grand scheme of things, which you might not be able to absorb in one day? So is there going to be any type of follow-up, any breakout workshops or anything that will kind of help people along the way to continue with the conversation and to see how they can align themselves with what is happening where AI is concerned?
Okay, so definitely there will be a continuation of the conversation. We have started the conversation to spark people's interest. But in terms of the actual format of the symposium, it is actually going to be very interactive. So it's not a sit down and talk to you. It is an application based so that you understand and have firsthand. But following up, we will continue the conversation with the Chamber of Commerce, because from the business development unit, we recognize that there needs to be synergy between the two organizations. We are basically serving the same cadre of businesses. So how do we pool our resources to ensure that we have that continuity?
One of the things, just sort of with respect to that question, I think on the day itself, we are certainly going to, based on the feedback, get a really good idea of what should be the actual next step. I think to kind of make that decision right now probably isn't the best thing. So Shelly and obviously her team and I will be there, and we'll kind of see where people want to go.
In terms of the presenters or whoever is coming to give the information and do the interaction, what is the type of, what types of topics are they going to be talking on? And I know you said there will actually be interaction. So people will be using the machines, they'll be using the app, they'll be using how is it going to be rolled out?
So let me make sure I clarify. In terms of the presentation, I'm the main presenter. I have a couple of other people who will come and talk about, their experience or whatever the case may be. In between all of that, we will have people taking quizzes, right? Answering certain questions. We'll have a few giveaways in between. We're going to have a panel discussion at the end, right? You have your division of finance secretary who's going to be there with the panel discussion. You have your division of education secretary. There's one other person who's going to be there. I'm not going to say too much right now.
Sound like an international superstar AI type person.
We will see. But a lot of what we're going to talk about is not just going to be AI. I really want to talk about how to think about this stuff, because again, you don't want people leaving there just totally fearful and okay, where am I going to be in the next year or two or whatever the case may be. So you're going to have a little mix of that in there.
And that's exactly it. You really don't want people leaving thinking, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to me in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years? I need to start packing up and leave Earth. That's not where we want to be. Of course, we want to ensure that people are equipped and empowered and they understand what AI is and the relationship that we can have with AI and how we can maximize the benefits. Even the youngest coming up now, they already have that type of interaction, the curiosity. I hear some of my nieces and them telling me, Auntie, AI. What do you know about AI? And giving me a whole lecture on AI. So maybe for the next one, you might want to call them in as well. But it's really interesting to see where we are now, where we have come from and where we are, and to think of where we can go and the things that we can do using the AI and using all the technology as it continues to evolve. I see you excited to say.
As you're talking about where it can take you. I remember I went to Dubai and I was literally blown away. I think they have gone completely. So they have trains that are fully automated, AI controlled. There is no human actually running it. So every 5 minutes, that train pulls up. And I remember having the conversation with those persons who were involved. And I was like, so what happened to the people who were working? I said, no, what they did is they learned how to operate it. They learn how to program it. So as Jason was saying, yes, humans will be replaced, but you can also be replaced in terms of not being in front, but being in the back. How do I benefit from this AI that is going to take over the world? How do I benefit? How do I stay in the game and not get left out?
And that was going to be my next, line of questioning. Not questioning, but a statement. Because as you're saying, humans are going to be replaced, but we still need somebody to run the AI.
That's right.
Right. The time might come when you might need somebody to run the AI, but in the meantime, while we still need somebody to run the AI, let's learn the thing, and get acquainted with it and make sure we understand how we're going to benefit. So tell me, when is this event taking place? How can persons register?
Okay, so it's taking place on the 8th of April, that's next Tuesday. Did we mention it's free? It is absolutely free. We have
Food.
yeah,
Free food too.
free. We have a couple spaces available. What we want you to do is to log on to the Chamber of Commerce. There's a link there, registration link. You fill it out, and that's it. It will automatically send you a confirmation. So it is Tuesday, the 8th of April at the Shore Park Cultural Complex from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 2:30, 3 p.m. We expect that it will be very engaging.
Interactive and
The
engaging. Yes.
website address.
Right? So
TobagoChamber.org.
Okay.
That's it. TobagoChamber.org.
Yeah,
it's
just-
right there on the very first page. And just follow
And
it.
I know you said there are a few, you still have a few spaces available. Who is the target audience? Who are you targeting for this event?
I would say primarily, because we're coming from the chamber's point of view and the business development point of view, primarily business people. However, we are looking at people in government, because they're the ones who are going to be making decisions for the
policies,
future
yes.
and policy. We're also looking at employees, and we're looking at careerists, right? People who are in a career and they want to move forward. All of those groups need to be involved in this. Business people, the politicians in charge, policymakers, and not just the politicians, because you have administrators and so forth. They are not politicians, but they're also part and parcel of policy making and certainly policy execution, and employees and career professionals.
So listen, if you want to get involved in this, if you want to know, you want to be in the know, you want to be aware, you want to know what's happening, you want to learn, you want to be a part of the conversation, and you want to know what's next. This is taking place next week, Tuesday, the 8th of April at the Shore Park Complex from 10 a.m. You can register on the Business Chamber website. I will get the correct address for you shortly. I think it's Tobago Business Chamber.
No. TobagoChamber.org.
TobagoChamber.org. So you log on to TobagoChamber.org. You look for the application form, fill it out, and you get your confirmation. And you can be in this space. Get in the know.
That's right.
Get the information. Information is power. You know, when you know something, you know something, right? And it can work in your benefit. So get there, get the information, 10 a.m. to 2, maybe about 3 p.m. So book the entire day, take the day off from work if you have to, because I'm telling you, your work that you want to go to on that day might be replaced by the same AI. So you want to learn a few things. Get down there, get the information, ask the questions. That is the place to ask the questions. That is the place to be curious. That is the place to just lay it on the table once the opportunity presents itself. And of course, you will have that interaction with what is happening. Prizes. I heard that there are prizes, there are giveaways, there's free food, and the event itself is absolutely free. So you want to go there and make the maximum benefit from what is available to you. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I just want to encourage persons. Do not be a spectator. Don't sit and think and wonder what happened, but actively participate in your own destiny. Actively participate in what is taking place around you. This is free, absolutely free. There are no attachments. Come and get the information.
Jason, anything?
I will say as much as I have to say on the day.
Right, that's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it all here on Good Morning Tobago. I almost said the morning show, but this is Good Morning Tobago GMT. You heard it here this morning from Mrs. Shelly-Ann Baptiste, manager at the Business Development Unit, and also Jason Arthur, a representative of the Tobago Business Chamber.
Tobago
Chamber
of Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry
and Commerce. That's right. Tobago chapter. That's right. That's right. You got it right here on GMT this morning. So they'll be there at Shaw Park Complex and they are waiting for you. You want to be a part of that. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations this morning, and we do hope that you could stay with us. So whether you're viewing on our Facebook live stream, YouTube channel, Amplier 102, Floor 121 or 130, we welcome you, we thank you, and we do hope to see you right after the break.
Let's go, go. It's a brand new morning.